Viewers, my channel is about unsung heroes, 40 years. Even though I didn't see Victor all the times that we've come back together, the common ground has always been kindness. We've done other projects together of his line of work, just compassion to people who need help. We've found people who we knew each other back in the day that we've been able to help in the little ways we can. And so for me, today is a special day. It is also a bit unfortunate that Victor has stopped playing the instruments because I thought he would give me some sound bites for my channel. What is your advice for activists who don't feel like, they start feeling like they are the black sheep even, for lack of a better word, that I personally experienced this in my church settings where every day I'm bringing a different case, There's no room for my case. So I find when I call Victor Kamau, and I want to thank God really and appreciate you, that's why you're my unsung hero. Because I've met more junior lawyers, not to look down on them, who don't have even 2 minutes to spare. But you are very busy in where you are, in your family life and everything. And you've left the door open for me to come. And that gives me hope again about my faith. That yes, it's not like having leprosy. Being an activist is not like leprosy, but what is your advice on the ones who feel like the church does not understand them?
I feel that for such a person, the first thing maybe to do is to wonder whether it is the other way around. You don't understand the church. Because the church is really, the church militant, the church here on earth, is just made of imperfect people like me and you. And everybody will have different opinions all the time. And I think what I take as a lesson is that I am grateful for those who speak out. I am grateful for those who pray. I am grateful for those who help financially. I am grateful for those who exercise excess caution before speaking, because we are just so different. Yes. We are really, really different. But you will find in the church, you are not alone when you want to speak out against injustice. Okay. You won't be alone.
Okay. A lot of us who feel like we are becoming radical in our protesting against bad governance. The biggest frustration is the church is now working with governments. So you feel like you're a broken record, breaking rank with the seniors and telling them, we have to be the watchdog. We have to be the watchdog for the government.
Yes, yes, and that is that is something that has been said from time immemorial. All those prophets, Prophet Nathan, who came to the king and said, come on, you know, you don't do wife grabbing and kill for the purpose of, you know, and that is the church, isn't it? It is the voice of God. Yes. In that context. And some of the people also, like William Wilberforce, because of his faith, he actually led the abolitionist cause in England and saw it done. You know, I think that we are just so different, but there is a role for everyone. And there is, I agree, it is important for the church to speak against wickedness. It is very important for the church not to be neutral about oppression of the poor, because those are the things that actually God values. It is very, very important for the church also to find a way of reaching out to those who are in need and not being too comfortable and cozy But I think the how to do it is what really is
The fight, what we pull each other up and
yes, is just everybody has their own ideas.
I had a human rights defender tell me when I was airing my frustration and saying, it is so good we are different, so that when this system does not work, when diplomacy does not work, then the protesters then can demand for haki yetu. So understanding, like the same way we say about the body of Christ, different parts doing different bodies.
That's right.
Is there a likelihood then also for us to be scattered? Because then we're also fighting evil. For there to be so much in unjust behavior and practices, it means it's the forces of evil. Have you encountered, even from the younger generation of people who are coming up as human rights defenders, then ended up also being representing? One of the fights I have is when the agenda is pushed by somebody else. Like, let's fight, I know this is controversial and I'll get in trouble for doing it, but let's fight for, I call them Rainbow Nation, let's fight for the rights of sexual orientation. And I ask people all the time, we don't have food, we don't have clean water, we are fighting for the rights of everybody. Why are we putting this group, like their special group? Is there a possibility, probably now talking to the younger human rights defenders, that they stop serving God, if they were called by God, if they believe they were called by God, or they are conscious, and then they start serving the interests of, can I call them foreign masters? Because we are not yet out of the hands of foreign masters. We were colonized, and people still have interest in our continent, so they will be interested in our resources, they will be interested in our minerals, but can they also be interested in controlling our morality?
I think those are universal problems, you believe it or not. And I think my conclusion of these things is that everyone really finds their way. I get very desperate about the impunity in this country. In fact, people talk about corruption being the worst thing, but I find impunity is the worst thing. That even if you are corrupt, you can be sure one or two people will make a few noises. You might even be taken to court, but you will prevail in the end,
That's the impunity.
That is the impunity. And impunity is what oxygenates corruption. We really, that impunity is worrying. It's very worrying. That's something that worries me. As a Christian, and as a lawyer, I worry about the fact that there are clear sets of laws for other people and those who are others, they are unequal. You will see somebody who has even escaped prison being catapulted to, great things because of who he is. Any ordinary person will not, receive that sort of reception. So I find that we have a very huge problem of impunity in Kenya. And that is something that I think Christians need to be very, very loud about. Very loud. As for young people, young human rights defenders, I think the interesting thing, there are some human rights defenders who are strategic. There are others who are militant. There are others who practice mindless militancy. And all that happens is that they wave placards and they fight, whatever will get them heard. And they're just different people. Just different people doing things differently.
Burnout, Victor. I mean, there are cases that I have encountered in helping people that have made me feel almost helpless. what do we do to recharge when we feel a burnout, when even the organizations that we represent are not in line with how we are feeling that this should be tackled? Burnout and mental health issues now is becoming common among defenders. Loneliness also, especially the ones who are not structured. What can we do to help each other? So that you've said we have to hold the government leaders accountable. We have to be very vocal about impunity. What would you advise those of us who are struggling with those?
I think we need to find support in each other. We need to band together, support each other in terms of our values, and even group-wise. We need to sit together and talk more. I think we need to talk more to each other and with each other so that we craft good strategies that make it possible for us to really champion our cause in a way that that is strong and united. Burnout, honestly, I think that we all need sometimes to pull back. Yes, and think of other things that matter to us, and recharge, you know, and get ourselves strong again. And for me, certainly, I will tell you, I find a lot of support in prayer, and that promise of God, that at the end of time, He will say to me, "Well done, good and faithful servant." So it really matters, I think, where you are based. I can say, and I may sound a bit unsecular, but I actually don't know how it is possible to function without faith and without knowing God.
Okay. For you, that's what grounds you, that's what drives you, that's what moves you. And like you said, your purpose when we started was to reach more people with that piece.
Absolutely.
Of knowing that you're here, you're set here to do, and you know what your mandate is. Viewers, my channel is about unsung heroes. 40 years. Even though I didn't see Victor all the times that we've come back together, the common ground has always been kindness. We've done other projects together of his line of work, just compassion to people who need help. We've found people who we knew each other back in the day that we've been able to help in the little ways we can. And so for me, today is a special day. It is also a bit unfortunate that Victor has stopped playing the instruments because I thought he would give me some sound bites for my channel. But I'm sure we'll have him back. Probably he'll ask questions. There's someone who wants to be on the show because of Victor and how he inspired them to do the work they're doing. The world is a better place when we speak up, when we show kindness. We began this show by talking about a lady who was going through a very hard time in a foreign country and experienced kindness with my unsung hero of Victor. So the other thing we were just having chit-chat was that to me, you're a senior counsel and you explained to me the processes of becoming a senior counsel. What else are you doing to live this knowledge and all these experiences, apart from acquiring knowledge by going back to school? You're writing a book. Are you going to sing for us one day and release a whole album? What is it that you're going to leave for generations to enjoy that Victor was here?
I think anyone's legacy is difficult to really judge for himself. I think all I can say is that I want everyone I interact with to be blessed. And if I can interact with someone and be helpful and kind to them, that is really my goal, and my life will not be in vain.
Okay. Do you go back to your old school and meet young kids who have visual impairment, who feel they can't go on? Are you able to give to that part of your life?
I have been, actually, I have served on the board of management of both my high schools.
Wow.
At different times.
Yes.
And so I have mentored some of the young students. I have very, very proudly seen some of them actually join the legal fraternity. Two of them become doctors of law.
Wow.
And it just really, really excites me.
So viewers, there we are. We have one of our first unsung heroes on this show. And I'm sure from this discussion, we'll have more discussions. So Victor, asante sana. Ingawaje umekataa tukiimba leo, I'm having you back on this show, probably from the questions people will have. It's not a big channel, but we're starting, and probably even bring some of your mentees on this show so that they can tell us how you've impacted them the way I have done today. That you've impacted me from when I was a teenager. You know, when we're saying we met 40 years old, we are reminding people we are old. And Victor is all gray. And one more thing about Victor. Victor has a voice and a face for radio and TV, but he doesn't know that. So we hope he'll be more confident, probably even start his own show and share the experiences and teach young lawyers, the human rights defenders, from the cases that he has handled over all these years. So asante sana, Victor, for coming. We've had a long conversation, and it means we have good rapport, we have same values, and I look forward to having you. Maybe one last word for my show and for the people that also follow me. What is your last word?
The last word from me is that I have enjoyed very much talking, and all of us need to strive to be a little kinder, a little blinder to the faults of our friends.
Yes.
And we need to love a little more.
Amen. Yes, initially I'd say those were the words of Victor Kamau. Then he told me, no, I found that song, and I Googled it and I found it on YouTube. So I will find the song and play it for my viewers. Maybe we can strum off TV and have it in the background of this show one day. So asante sana.
Asante Redemptor, and thank you for being my friend for all those years. It's amazing.
Yes. From when I was a little girl, when I was all rosy-eyed about serving, but I still come back and I can still hold your hand. But I feel like now you're holding my hand in the spiritual sense, in the worldly sense of experiencing defending rights. You're now holding my hands, because when I started out, I was doing ministry really more for people facing adversity. But you can't avoid meeting people who need legal representation. And you have really mentored me and held me accountable when I say some of the things that you know are not either legally right or that, but you've never hesitated to answer my call or guide me. So I thank you for that.
With some brother who is weaker, like a little more of others, and a little